Right, another episode of West Ham Weekly, boys. Ahead of Chelsea versus West Ham, we're joined by Chelsea fan and blogger Lane Manuel Diaz. Good to have you on the show, Lane.
Pleasure to be here, thank you.
The question on everyone's lips, what has gone wrong this season for Chelsea?
It's amazing to see the transformation from the last season champions and now I think we're 10th place now. It's hard to get your head around it. We were virtually unplayable, unbeatable last season. We did lose, I think, 4 games towards the end, or losing to West Brom, I think 3-0 as well, towards the end of last season. But it was so difficult to beat us. But I think now this season, everyone just seems to come to Stamford Bridge looking to get a point or even 3 at the most now.
So where do you expect Chelsea to start before the season started? Where were you hoping for?
Ideally, I was hoping that we'd be back up there, top 2 at this stage at the very least. Competing, trying to defend the title. But I think ever since the first game against Swansea, it didn't go very well.
No. And what's your view on Mourinho? Because he obviously got sacked, and obviously it's being a bit weird, wasn't he, with all the physio goal and all of that.
I'm not too sure, to be honest. You want
No, sorry, I was going to say I think that's the pivotal. I think that's the pivotal moment in the whole thing was that. What was that fallout with Ivo Cannavaro?
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but that's when it did all start to go south a bit.
Yeah.
You know, and I think legal proceedings are ongoing. That really was such a terrible position for her to be in, and it was bad judgment from Mourinho, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, extremely bad judgment because
I think that just summed it up. I think maybe players didn't take that too well at the beginning of the season with Ivo Cannavaro, and I think their form depleted. But to be fair, I think even towards the end of last season, we weren't playing that well as well. I think we were fortunate that we had such a great campaign last season towards the beginning. Our first loss against Newcastle last season, and then Tottenham towards the beginning of this new year, 2015. But ever since that, it wasn't really going as well as we would have hoped.
It was Mourinho in charge, of course, when we last played. West Ham 1-2 at Upton Park. Stamford Bridge this time.
Yeah.
New man in charge. Same old Chelsea?
Who knows? We're just getting back to our feet now. 3 games without a win in all competitions. We'll be without Diego Costa and Eden Hazard, I think, with injury, but Costa's suspended, obviously. So who knows? Ideally, you'd want a victory, but the way that West Ham are playing, some magnificent football, in my opinion, especially FA Cup on the weekend. Dimitri Payet's free kick was amazing. I think you're unlucky to get the whole win.
ludicrous.
Yeah.
Ludicrous.
5th in the league, though.
Yeah.
No Costa, no Hazard.
Yeah.
Boys, are we favourites going to Stamford Bridge?
At Stamford Bridge.
I'm confident we can go there and get a result.
I think so as well.
This season we've seen many of what you'd call, or what are so-called, the big 5 in the league, and at home they've lost scare factor, haven't they? In fact, at home I'd say that's when they're at their most vulnerable, because they're under the most pressure to perform. I don't know what the air is like at Stamford Bridge, to be honest. I mean, how do you feel watching Chelsea when they're at home? Is there a different vibe?
I think there is. I think since Mourinho left, most of the Chelsea fans were picking on the three big names. I think it was Eden Hazard, Diego Costa, and I think Cesc Fabregas, highlighting them, calling them the Snakes. And I think ever since he's left, Chelsea have been playing much more better, and the fans have noticed that as well. But I think they've noticed that since we've gone out of the Champions League, there is no real ambition for us towards the end of this season. So I think we're just trying to get to the highest we can, and I think the fans acknowledge that.
So what is your view on Eden Hazard? He's obviously had a bit of a dreadful season,
shadow
to be
from the
honest.
player was last season. I think his first goal was in the FA Cup, I think. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
It was a penalty, wasn't it?
It was a penalty, yeah. And the chance he had, he could have scored another before that. I think he hit the post when he really should have scored as well. So, yeah, and last season, I think he was our standout player last season. And this season, obviously, we've had to rely on Willian, who's, I think, dominated and helped us to actually be where we are this season. And just saying that, we're 10th as well, so it's not really looking that great. But I think his free kicks have really helped us in the Champions League as well. I think he scored against Porto and Dinamo Kiev as well. So thank God for Willian.
Yeah, but these players that are misfiring and misperforming, you know they've got it in their locker.
Yeah.
Because last season they were just,
they showed it, yeah.
you know, they were just out of this world, weren't they?
Yeah.
Champions and deservedly so. So, do you keep faith, or is it when it's looking like Conte, isn't it, from
Italy?
From Italy, do you have a reshuffle? Do you move players out that haven't performed so well this season and bring players in from Europe, or are the players such as Hazard who by his standards, and I suppose really by the standards of players in the Premier League, has not really had a very good one.
Yeah.
Not really had a very good one this campaign. So what does Conte do when he comes in? Does he work with what he's got, or is it time to spend big?
I think it will be difficult. I think first of all we have to see how this summer goes. I think John Terry, whether that saga continues or whether he leaves, whether he stays, who knows. I'd ideally want him to stay. I think Conte would probably want him to stay as well. Because when he does play, our defence line is absolutely, it can deal with most of the attack and threat. We saw that last season. But Branislav Ivanovic, I think towards the beginning of the season, he wasn't playing too well. He's been converted now to a centre half instead.
Yeah. Future Chelsea manager John Terry. I think he would do pretty well. Say.
Of course, where it all began for John Terry, though.
Yeah, it's at West Ham.
You
Where
know
was
that.
it? 14-year-old on West Ham's books,
Academy of
wasn't
Football.
Yeah.
it? Yes, indeed.
I think Conte will try and steady the ship, knowing that we're in transition period, as Hiddink said. I think Conte will try and get a few names. I think he's picked up 2 players from Serie A, Nainggolan from Roma, and I think Pjanic as well. So I think if he can somehow lure them into the Premier League, hopefully we'll have a much better season than we're having this season.
Let's talk a little bit about the FA Cup, of course, at the weekend. You touched on the pay at free kick. Rob was there, of course.
Yeah.
Do you think West Ham can win the FA Cup?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the performances from some of the other sides as well can help you get back into the final since 2006 against Liverpool. Yeah, which I actually.
Yeah, we got revenge on them this year.
Yeah, I actually wanted you to win that final.
Still
And last
raw,
night as
10
well.
years on.
Yeah.
And last night in the Under-21 Cup,
Yes.
very exciting,
Yes.
3-2 win.
In the final of that as well.
Stephen
And
Hendry
with most of the
banging
big teams
in
out as
that
well.
goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the big teams out. Man United, I think you'll beat them at home. In my opinion. Watford coming up against Arsenal, that was a really good result for them.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace as well.
Could be Pardew's
Just-
Palace in the final against us,
Yeah.
couldn't it?
And Everton.
If we
as
can
well.
get past Man United, we've got Everton in the
Yeah.
semi-final at Wembley, and then we've got Watford or Palace in the final. If we make it there.
And you played really well against most of the sides already in this season.
We've beaten all of them.
Yeah, exactly. And Everton, although they took the lead, you
So
made
Watford,
a brilliant,
we haven't beaten
fantastic
Watford
comeback.
yet.
We
Still
will.
got to play them.
We will beat Watford
Yeah.
at home, under the lights.
It's
Should
odd
do,
though.
yeah.
It's odd though. It's an extremely surreal feeling from West Ham's point of view. Is that couple seasons ago, last season, if we went to Old Trafford, you wouldn't so much fancy your chances. If you went to Stamford Bridge, not sure about that today, boys. Emirates as well. Never get a result at the Emirates. Do you know what I mean? But just not scared.
Slaven
Not
Bilic
scared
has
to
done
go
something
anywhere.
amazing.
Not scared to go
Yeah.
anywhere. Just a different mentality.
He's got that winning mentality because he's always been at a team where they're expected to win the league or win nearly every game, and he's brought that
Oh yeah.
to West Ham, which is so refreshing. You think of last season, the 19th century football
Yeah.
antics that were going on. We're playing 25th century football now, boys. It's on another level.
I think you're playing without a lot of fear now. I think Cresswell's playing some great football down the left flank, and Antonio, who's a new signing, he's been really, found, I think, a lot of confidence on his
He's been
right side.
unbelievable.
I'm not sure what his preferred position is at the moment. Is he a
He can
striker?
do a job
or is he
anywhere, can't he?
fullback? Yeah, he's doing really well.
He is Mr. Reliable. Really
Yeah.
is. You
He's
can,
got some crucial goals for you.
you
as
can
well.
instill such a lot of faith in him, and he'll do the best he can,
Yeah.
which is a great thing.
You talk about Antonio Cresswell, Englishman.
Yeah.
The England squad's out for the next upcoming friendlies. No West Ham player has made the squad. No Mark Noble, no Cresswell, no Antonio. And you look at the players that have made it: Walcott, Welbeck, Milner. Have we been robbed of a player? What's the viewpoint from a non-West Ham fan of how the Englishmen have performed in East London?
I think that a lot of West Ham players can feel a little bit hard done by, in my opinion. I think there was a lot of controversy about, who would go left back. If Luke Shaw's obviously injured, who knows whether he'll be back in time. We don't know. I guess not in many aspects, but I think Ryan Bertrand's got selected as well. So yeah, I think Cresswell will feel hard done because I think he's had a good season with West Ham. And Mark Noble, I think he's always been one of those players who's always given 110% on the pitch. And I think he's really unlucky, especially this season, because he's played so well. Him with Dimitri Payet and centre mid, it's brilliant. So I think he'll really be feeling hard done by.
His best chance this season, because Mark Noble has played out of his skin this year. I can't remember a season like it. And you think, if this is not the time, when will the time come?
The thing is,
He's not old, is he? I mean, sorry, he's not young, Mark Noble.
He's running out of time.
Before it came out, you knew he wasn't going to get in there. I mean, you think of his performance, he 100% deserves to be it, but you just know Hodgson's not going to pick any West Ham player. I knew that before the thing came out. I could have placed a bet on it and been like, yeah, they're not going to happen.
I don't know the deal with that. I don't know the deal
I
with
mean,
that.
Stuart Downing got in, didn't he? I think last season. But remember, this is the squad for the friendlies. There is still time
Yeah.
for Noble to get in. And if we get top four, which we will come to in a second, you can't look past a West Ham player.
Impossible to ignore. And if you do, there's just...
It's not right.
You can't justify it.
Yeah.
I think Hodgson would genuinely make his job harder, not selecting Mark Noble in the summer.
I think he's made he's had two fantastic moments from what I've seen from him. I think against Aston Villa, he played a brilliant cross-field ball to Antonio, who headed home. And then I think against
Norwich away, yeah.
Fantastic
Great
straight
goal.
into the top corner, yeah.
Rob, if Mark Noble played for Liverpool, how many England caps would he have?
Yeah, that's true, innit? Yeah. I mean, like Milner, what's that?
Lallana?
Why is he in that ahead of Noble? Let's be honest here.
I can't understand.
Tom Cleverley, perhaps not in the setup at the moment, but he has more England caps than
Well, Danny Drinkwater's in
Mark
it.
Noble.
To be fair, I've been impressed by Danny Drinkwater.
Fair play to Danny
Fair
Drinkwater,
play.
deserves it.
But that shows
Deserves
you
it.
what you have to do to get in the squad. You've
and
got to be
which-
top.
Which Noble has done, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a shame because I really thought this was his year. The testimonial, which I'm sure the fans will really get behind him now, that game, make him feel special. Lane, can we get top four?
I think you can. The way I think Man City are playing as well, obviously with Kompany and Otamendi out now for some periods of time, who knows? They've always been quite lacklustre in defence ever since Kompany hasn't played. With Man United, you just don't know whether they're going to be quite consistent towards the end of the season. And you've got, I'm not sure about the fixtures that you have, but I think you could definitely hope you
Imagine.
do. It'd be
It's
really
on.
nice, yeah.
It is on.
It's a real possibility.
Yeah. Even from a neutral
Just
side.
the thought of it.
Yeah.
Just the thought of it gets you goosebumps.
I think it might well be the two stories of the
Leicester
season will
winning,
be Leicester winning the league and West Ham. West Ham
It's
definitely being
a
up there.
possibility, yeah.
Here's hoping.
You know, I heard somebody say that the way Man City are capitulating.
Yeah.
We could even finish third.
Jack.
You know,
Oh
that's
my
just
word.
that is just
happen.
just one of
And
many
Arsenal are in there as
unbelievable
well, yeah.
statements
It's
I've
still-
heard this
yeah.
week.
It's still mathematically possible for us to win the league.
Actually, I think
as
I-
well, isn't
oh
it?
my- Am I hearing this?
You know,
Am I hearing this?
Yeah.
I think we probably have to
It's just
win
all
the
about
rest of our
belief
remaining
now, I think.
fixtures.
Yeah.
The players really
And
And
believe
I
in
hope
it,
for
yeah.
some good luck.
It's promising for the future. And you know what else is promising for the future? The under 21 side.
Yeah.
The youth
Yeah.
set up. Boys, we were there last night. They're in the under 21 cup final. Just how bright is the future? Because there's some real gems in that side.
Yeah, if you looked at the teams there, Samuelson and Josh Cullen came back from their loans just playing that game, and they're very impressive. Oxford as well. Dobson has been another player I've been very impressed by. Hendry as well, he scored a cracking goal. He got 2 assists up at Newcastle as well.
What a hit.
And yeah, scored the winner, an absolute beautiful strike, just banged it straight in. Yeah.
If you are around and the under 21s are at Rush Green, free admission, go and watch, because it is a seriously good standard of football.
It is.
Isn't it?
And we have this final at the Bowling Ground now,
Yeah.
which is just going to be another special night.
2-legged thing against Hull.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be special, yeah.
Fancy your chances?
Against Hull, under 21s, definitely, of course. The players we got, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, last night I think I said to Rob, you know, I tell you what, Cullen's played well tonight. Oh, Marcus Brown's, you know, he's had a good one. And then Rob just said, well, they all have. Really, they are all top players. All top
You've got
players.
Donald Henry coming in, scoring a goal.
Yeah.
It's a real team effort. You've got Alex Pike again on that right hand side. Only one I was a little bit disappointed with was number 9 Hector Ingram. I thought he didn't really pose much attacking threat, didn't hold the ball up. Apart from that though, it's a really, really solid set of young players. Something that Chelsea have had in the past few seasons, winning youth cups,
Yeah.
but not using academy players.
So did
It's
it.
frustrated me. I think got loads of talent. Lewis Baker, Nathaniel Shaloba, Dominic Solanke.
Mm.
Loftus-Cheek,
Yeah, definitely.
good
Which
player.
I don't understand. I think to look at the position that we're in at this moment, why wouldn't you play your youth players now?
Where's this Kennedy lad from?
Yeah, he's
What-
Brazilian. Yeah.
Is he Brazilian?
Yeah.
But has he come through?
I
Has he
think
come through the
he's played
system?
from Fluminense.
In the Bolton
Yeah.
case.
So
Mm.
yeah,
But it is odd at Chelsea's academy,
Yeah.
because you've won the youth cups like
I know.
Yeah.
quite a few times now, haven't
won, I
you?
think, the
But it's not
European
really Chelsea's
last
way
year,
to
yeah.
bring through players.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more splashing the cash on
Yeah.
top European
Yeah.
players, isn't it? So, and they just don't get a chance, these young
Yeah,
players.
exactly.
I mean, you've got loads of players out on loan, don't you?
I'd like to recall some of them.
Aki at
Yeah,
Watford.
as
What a
well.
season he's having.
He's playing brilliantly.
Yeah, having a really good one. I watched him a couple seasons ago in the Youth Cup versus Norwich.
Yeah,
Good player,
played really well. And,
real good player.
Yeah.
You've got like 36 players
Yeah,
out on
quite a
loan,
lot, yeah.
one of which is Victor Moses, currently at West
Yeah.
Ham. What's the deal with him?
I don't know, I liked him when he's played. Definitely liked him when he's played. I think maybe pushing too much for a start. Maybe definitely an impact sub. And whenever he plays, he always makes an impact. That's for sure. Brilliant goal. I think in the in the Europa League. Sorry. I think too. And when we did win it 2013, I think it was brilliant strike. And yeah, I wish that maybe we would recall some of the young talent that we have, especially with the injuries that we have with Diego Costa, and when he's suspended as well. So yeah, but yeah, I'd love to see Loftus-Cheek have more game time, especially with Matic and Mikel as well.
Yeah. Talking about Costa, you know, he is an individual
Really
that
controversial figure. Yeah.
he's controversial, but he just oozes character, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And when he's on the pitch, it's almost like watching a pantomime, and he's the pantomime villain, and
Yeah.
you watch all these different
Yeah.
shenanigans unfold.
Yeah.
Do you grow tired of it though? Because I heard, you know, the commentators saying during the game, you know, it's entertaining, but it's an awkward position that he puts the manager in, that he puts his teammates in every time he acts that way. I mean, that altercation with Barry
Yeah.
wasn't good.
No.
Wasn't good, was
Did he
it?
bite?
No.
I don't think he bit him.
Categorically.
Yeah.
It was weird.
I don't think he actually sunk his teeth into him, but It looked strange.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would do that. Yeah. But yeah, as a player, I think he's a top quality player, definitely. I think since Mourinho left, Hiddink's done a really good job with him, kept him calm, and he's played some good football in recent games. PSG, I think, over 2 legs, he was, I think, Chelsea's best player. Scored a good goal in the second leg as well. But yeah, obviously being sent off against Everton, it's just 1 step forward and 2 steps back, obviously.
I loved it, to be honest. 'Cause my first thought is he's missing the West Ham game.
Yeah.
So, buzzing that he's not going to be
I
playing.
was really upset, yeah.
And Lukaku.
Yeah, exactly.
Lukaku, the
Don't get me
man
started,
you let go.
Yeah. I thought, because I think they had a loan spell at West Brom, and he was doing really well over there. I think he had another spell at Everton on loan as well. And
I remember he came back for you and played like 1 game in the Club World Cup,
Yeah.
missed the penalty,
yeah,
and then was straight
Super
off.
Cup, yeah, the Super Cup
And he was just gone.
against Bayern Munich. I don't know. I don't get why he let him go. In my opinion, I think Mourinho said that his overall link-up play wasn't to a really high, significant standard. But then you see him what he did do against us with Ross Barkley.
It's
Played
weird
well.
that Mourinho has a problem with some players like that, because you look at Mata,
Yeah,
who was
Schürrle,
your player of
another
the
one.
season, I
Yeah.
think.
De Bruyne.
And then,
De Bruyne, obviously,
they're all. I mean, it's almost like Hodgson with England, like ignoring like Noble and players like that.
It's a shame.
And
It's
then
odd.
when they do leave,
Yeah.
they tend to do really well against us.
Well, it does say something very, very significant. It's very significant that a manager like Mourinho wasn't able to work with such amazing players. Do you know what I mean? That's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good if you're not able to do that,
Yeah.
because they are the type of players that are world beaters. So odd.
Yeah.
Odd.
I think that I think he likes to sign players with potential, send them out on loan, and then until they actually reach a certain standard that he really likes, I think they'll actually put them in the team. But so far, I haven't seen that many players that he's actually, recalled back in, let them play. I think he only did it with Kennedy in the summer during the pre-season, and Bertrand Traore. But other than that, he hasn't really done that. Just sold them.
So this season, combined West Ham, Chelsea 11.
Oh.
I think.
Just put all the
I
West
think
Ham
I'm quite,
players in it.
well, I do think the question is, based
How
on
many?
based on merit, how many Chelsea players
Yeah.
get into the West Ham team? Is there anybody, apart from Willian, who has been standout, who you've liked the look of?
To be honest, I'd put Costa up front.
No,
I think I would as well.
You'd have to say,
West Ham.
purely because West Ham have not had an
No.
out-and-out striker who's gone and got into double figures.
Absolutely.
If
Wouldn't
the
look
Afro
good in
Saka
Barrow
was-
and blue.
Character
Absolutely.
aside.
If the Afro
not.
Saka was
I
fully
would
fit-
not take a player like Costa at
If the
West
Afro
Ham.
Saka, well, we're not taking him. If we combine the two, what's the best team?
Character aside, he's still a quality player.
Because we've not had a striker who's gone and got double figures. We've got the players there, Payet, Lanzini, to make the chances. But you think of Emenike, what he's missed.
Yeah, he has missed chances. to
If
be
Saka was
fair,
fully fit,
but
I would have said Saka.
He did play really well up against Blackburn. I know it was
Mm.
Blackburn, but I mean, he's new to this league. Andy Carroll's obviously been injured. Saka's obviously been injured as well, which is why we haven't had 20 goals scorer. I mean, I'm not saying that they would have got 20 goals had they been fit, but they could have done, you know what I mean?
Pedro, for me.
Yeah, I put
Love
Pedro,
him.
Yeah.
Pedro,
Love him.
I think
Yeah.
he's been awful.
I think
Do you?
his injuries have, I think, blighted his season so far. But
Injuries
when he has
again.
played, I think on his debut against West Brom, he scored a brace. And
Yeah, and that was it. He went missing.
He played well in that game, and then I think. Yeah, he's had some good spells as well. in
We
the
have to
PSG
remember
game
this.
as well.
If Barcelona let a player go,
Yeah,
they know he's not good enough.
I think he was good
Whoa.
enough. I think he was.
But
I think he was.
I don't know about that.
No, 'cause
Pedro is a world
Let's think about this.
player.
Alexis
I'm not having
Sanchez.
that.
Yeah.
Alexis
Look
Sanchez
at the
going to
team they had.
Arsenal.
Mm.
Yaya Toure going to Man City.
Mm.
I mean, you have this thing in saying like they're not good enough. That's why they let them go. But
If you look at the
they
players they
are
have.
world
Do those two
class
get in
players.
Barcelona's team right now?
Alexis Sanchez probably not.
Run out of battery, so we lost quite a large portion of the footage. Not really got a proper ending, so just gonna give you a little one now. Goodbye.